In today's guide I will teach you how you can easily defeat the Allies and achieve autarky in 1940, which will allow you to steamroll the Soviets and bring a new order. But before we get into that, we first have to talk about the new updated industry branches. In this game I went with the 4-year plan, which is in my opinion just much more fun because it's a little bit more risky. Since, you know, you are on a timer, you have to achieve autarky, otherwise your economy will eventually collapse. You can stall this by conquering, but regardless, pegging is just much simpler, much more chill, since you're not on this timer. And the cool thing is you can also delay the Anschluss. So Austria does a couple more focuses where they develop their country and all that. They're not drastically different. Pegging has a weaker early game and again is safer. But with the 4-year plan, because you have a much stronger early game, you can also get your 5th research slot much earlier. And I mean, that's just very nice. And pegging is very nice. Really, don't get me wrong. I really like pegging. Having said all that, I mean, I am German. You know, if I see Totaler Krieg, then... Which also means we are first gonna go with the Rhineland. If you go with pegging, I would personally first do all of these focuses to get your consumer goods down, and then you can do your political path. Special projects. We're gonna get Grote, just because he's an armored specialist, and we are immediately gonna assign him to the Flammpanzer. I wanna get my flame tanks out as soon as possible. Research is pretty much just the basic stuff. Construction, research, and then Marines. We're also going to queue up the max amount of civs in Hessen, Moselland and Oberbayern. This gives us enough civs for our research slot, and they won't be affected by the Reichsautobahn, so we can take the 20% increased construction speed once we take the Autobahn focus. Production, very simple. We're gonna destroy the Panzer, we're gonna destroy all of those planes. I don't really give a shit. We're gonna dunk all of these down to 1 level in terms of navy, because these ships are absolutely shite. Technically, you could finish those destroyers. I mean, at the end of the day, they are screening ships, but I'm just gonna delete them. I want proper destroyers, which also means I'm gonna delete those destroyers. The submarines, they're not great, but they're submarines. There we go. We're gonna finish all of these, and then I'm gonna chuck 9 on convoys. And we're also gonna bump the repair queue. There we go. That's fine. We're gonna build about 41 of those cavalry brigades. Well, we're gonna build more, and then we're gonna dunk these out as soon as possible. In terms of designers, for single player, Daimler-Benz is probably the best one. For medium tanks, MAN is nice, but does give you stats that you don't really care that much about, you know, like a little bit more heart attack, a little bit more breakthrough, piercing. But Daimler-Benz just gives you speed, production efficiency and all that. The rest we can ignore. You could go for Henschel for some, you know, speedier flame tanks or such, but I personally will just go with Daimler-Benz. For the ships, I am honestly not gonna care that much. I'm just gonna focus on Blom and Vos, and we're just gonna put everything on torpedoes, because that is what I care about right now in this game. For the plane MIOs, we are gonna go with Focke-Wulf. Focke-Wulf is just gonna give you so much range, and range is hard to come by, so we are just gonna dunk everything on Focke-Wulf. It's just such a nice designer. For our CAS, we're gonna still go with the Junkers, just because the Junkers, I mean, like, you get like, what, 45 ground attack if you're done with all of this. The rest, I mean, we only care about the infantry, the automotive, the support, and the artillery. I mean, I'm still gonna use the helicopter designer. We might be able to use 2 helicopters against Russia. In general, you are just gonna get all of the production increases with your MIOs. Occupation laws, we're gonna put it on harsh quotas and cavalry, because cavalry has the increased suppression value, and harsh quotas, so we get the most factories and all of that out of the land, because we're not gonna hold land that much, considering we're gonna stick with the MIFO builds. So might as well get as many factories out of it as we can. We might as well stack the army. We get 2 of those beautiful infantry divisions. We're gonna send them to Ethiopia, and we are gonna send air volunteers, although it doesn't really matter, they don't have an airport. The cool thing about Ethiopia is I don't really give a shit. Legitimately, if we lose Ethiopia, I mean... The best thing is just we piss off Mussolini and we get a little bit of army XP. As for guys, I don't really care. I guess we can get Lutz. If you want to, you can try and get a mountaineer going, so you get an adaptable guy going, but I'm not gonna care. We're just gonna railroad these to the front, and then we're just gonna let Mussolini grind us. I'm not gonna micro Ethiopia. I'm gonna take a little bit of a look, so we keep grinding, but I don't really care about the outcome there. If Ethiopia survives, that's great, because then we can annex Ethiopia later, but if it doesn't, then that's fine. We're gonna go with the Führerprinzip, because I do want Todd in power as soon as possible. Then we are also gonna get back immediately as much army XP as we can. And there we go. I'm just gonna do a little bit of micromanagement here, just to make sure we stay in battle. Next up is Kesselring. Also want as much air XP as we can get. And as I said, next one, we're just gonna hire Todd just because he gives us factory construction speed, and we get another 15% construction tech research speed and mill factories and all that. It's just such a good focus. Heat for Neugart's concerns. I mean, it's neat that I added the Wehrmacht and this one, but honestly, left one is just so much better. More XP gain. I don't really care about the justified war goal time. And you can also get more operatives down here, which I also don't really care about. We also need to stack up our navy. Just left click all of these, right click them, and press H. We're gonna do some naval exercises and get Dönitz in power. We're gonna disband all of those planes. We're gonna click on Westfalen. We're gonna get our CAS and our fighters deployed, or I guess just our fighters. There we go. And we're just gonna shift left click them to train them as well. Mechanical computing we're gonna get next, and then we are gonna just spend the 50 PP on Austria. After Neugardt, we are gonna go with the army focus over here. Just deploy those cavalry, and I do know you can cheese Austria by deploying one width divisions because they are fully equipped, and then you can immediately Anschluss and all that, get your MIFO builds down and all that. But I am just gonna work under the assumption that this will be fixed. There we go. We're just gonna spread the horses out just so they don't eat up all the supply. And we shall also get professional officer corps, and we will also get bold attack, and then we're also gonna get the new Panzer doctrine immediately. Then we are going to hire Schacht just for the less consumer goods, and later on he will also give us mill factories. Between concentrated and dispersed, the endless question without an answer. I will go with concentrated because that will scale us better. I will actually admit, with the new Germany, if you go with 4-year plan, dispersed is probably better. Most of our important tech comes in very late before the war, so I'm perfectly fine if you want to go with dispersed. I'm going to go with concentrated because that will allow us to stack as many guns as we can, make the Anschluss a little bit easier, and I also just like concentrated. It's a big number, and we shall get Räder. With that, we can now start the 4-year plan, because now we will finish with the construction focus, and then we can use the speed bump on something proper. Alright, the nationalist civil... That's fucking hell. I can't talk anymore. The Spanish Civil War is kicked off, and we shall immediately send 3 Panzerdivisionen to Jose with air volunteers, please. There we go. We have developed the Flammpanzer, and we shall immediately create the best Flammpanzer known to man. The Mittlere Traktor. Congratulations. 3 point... Yeah, I almost made the same mistake as I did in the test run, and then I had to delete 3,000 flame tanks. There we go. Make sure it's actually a flame support tank. Otherwise, you will just produce tanks that you are not gonna use for anything. And then we're gonna assign 3 factories to these. We're gonna get a radio tech for the Spanish Civil War, and we are gonna get the MGs just for better infantry, and there we go. As for these guys, we're gonna promote Bock to a field marshal, and we're gonna use Manstein as our general, just because those two are brilliant strategists. We're gonna draw a general front line, very important. That way we can get organizer for Bock, and then we can get logistics wizard as well. Aggressive assault offensive doctrine. And then we're also going to get our 2 fighter wings over here and put them on air superiority. Then we're gonna do autarky, and with the tanks we're just gonna micro a little bit, clean up the borders up top, and then check in with Ethiopia. We can get our guys over here to Addis Ababa just to hold a little bit better, and then they're gonna grind perfectly fine without our help. Institute price controls, but after that we're gonna get Goebbels. We want our consumer goods, our MIFO builds, to be crippled, or cripple us the least. And then we can get my favorite man in the government, because it's not Himmler, he's not a rat. Okay, I honestly shouldn't say that Goebbels is my favorite man. No. I already know somebody in 20 years is gonna find this clip, and I will lose a job because of that. But it's gonna be fine, because for a very short time I did get a little bit of internet fame. Now that we have the other non-rat, we shall get the Legion Condor going, and we shall also get war economy going. We shall also get naval reform, aircrew service. No, I also want centralized control. I was a little bit too early, I guess. Then we shall get the Reichsautobahn. We shall also hire the organization Todd. We're also gonna send even more volunteers to Spain. We could send 5 right now, I believe. If we deploy those, we can send 1 more. I am so good at this game. I know everything about it. I guess we're only gonna send these 3, and then we shall get improved machine tools, as well as concentrated industry in a second. And we shall also get construction. We'll go full send in Brandenburg, Saxon, Hanover, and Franken for mill factories. Those light tank divisions will not really consist of light tanks anymore, but That's not my problem. I'm not fighting on the front. We shall get the KDF Wagen next, which is a little bit nerfed from the previous one, from the old version, but it's still fine. As for these three guys, we are just gonna send them, there we go, over here. They can hold the front a little bit. Accelerate the rearmament program is next. More mill factory construction speed. And then we shall also get Architect finally. And I guess I can already click all of those beautiful decisions. We're not gonna click the scrap metal or the Gumbos Treaty. The Gumbos Treaty, we are just not gonna click in general because that pisses off Hungary, but the rest we can just click, keep our consumer goods down, and then we shall also get the smoke generators. At this point I will no longer remind you about the Spanish Civil War. Just keep grinding there, and ideally do not take Madrid or other VPs, since you want to drag this war out for as long as possible to get the most army XP. And then we shall get the HoI4 research facilities. Denmark, I honestly don't give a shit about. Number one, that clusters consumer goods factories we don't have. Number two, Denmark is just gonna cancel that in 2 weeks. I have other plans for Denmark. Again, keep on deploying those horses. It doesn't matter that they're under-equipped right now. We just want men. And then we shall also get rubber processing. I hardly know her! We're also gonna get Hess. These are our three guys. You could get Himmler. Himmler is rather similar and gives you operatives and all that, so it's kind of nice, but I just, you know, I like the funds gain, and, you know, more PP is always nice and all that. And the research speed and, you know. We're gonna do some damage control. Yes, we're gonna build a navy. A very strong and mighty one, definitely. And it's not gonna consist of shitty ships. Also, scrap metal. Very good, yes. Yay. Alright, we have significant progress towards Anschluss. We are gonna get these cavalry out. I'm gonna press this very interesting consolidate button. Is that enough? Yes, that is... Oh, I just love how it works. There we go. Everything is calculated. We are gonna Anschluss. We're gonna get Franz Selte. A little bit less stability, but it's fine. Factory output, production efficiency, growth and base. And the growth and base is very good because our industry will start growing tremendously. I'm just gonna get the radio. Yeah, we're also gonna put 5 more on guns right now because we don't have the robot just yet. The Abwehr, we also need to form our agency, and that one is gonna be very useful. Very useful. We're just gonna spam more horses, and I doused believe that is enough to do Sudetenland now. Yes. There we go, Anschluss. Actually, we probably got enough after the Anschluss, so more factories. Keep on spamming in 100% states. There we go. We might as well get fire control, and we shall also get the infantry tech. And I will start improving relations with Japan, because sadly he does not like us enough. A little bit of complimenting his chin should do the trick. Or his chins. There we go. We're also gonna hire Ludwig Edel and send him to London as a small little trip, because we are Germans, we do like the British. I forgot about the agency upgrades here, but getting 5 for the additional spy is super useful here. Army, Air Force, YouTube pills, Form Department, and Commander Training are the ones that I would go for. We shall put 15 on artillery, we shall put 15 on AA, 10 on support, yes. And I guess we can put 10 on the Versuchsflammpanzer. But we shall bump the Karabiner down to 15, because we don't need that much infantry equipment. We just got damage control. We're gonna continue going down, because if you've never played with a navy, these 2 lines, damage control and fire control, as well as smoke generators, are integral. Smoke generators, if your navy is ever retreating, it needs to get out of there fast. If it's retreating, it is a sitting duck. So it needs to get as much speed as possible to dodge and, you know, also just to retreat. Damage control gives you less damage. So if you get hit, you will take less damage, and fire control is just very nice because it buffs the damage. It's not super important for our current navy, but, you know, it's still, for navy in general, it's gonna be very useful. Attaché to Japan. Oh god, if I forgot about that, that would have been pretty bad. Would have lost us quite a bit of army XP as well. There we go. Second spy, also to London. We do get more and more army XP. We can spend it, of course, but I would like to keep it as long as we can, because we don't have a doctrine advisor yet. Eastern claims. Get Memel. We shall also create the most important and strongest ship that you can ever imagine. It is called the 1936 destroyer hull with 3 torpedoes. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? And then we shall start pumping it. We are gonna establish production targets next. Can we send more volunteers? Yeah, we can send 3 more volunteers. I mean, we might as well. And we can also get 1 more plane. Then we shall get the Granatwerfer. We might as well keep on training the new ships. Let's get range improvements. We shall hire Guderian for 10% more speed on our tanks, and it is time we shall invest into mobile infantry. There we go. Half of our doctrine is done, and there's still much more to get. We're gonna go with left, because that gives us more orc and all that. Right, we get more breakthrough, which I guess is nice, but you don't really need that much more breakthrough with your tanks. So the orc is just, you know, it buffs our entire army instead of just our tanks. We're gonna divert the sale of bombers, because I don't have bombers. Bombers are absolutely stupid. With that, we will also start puppeting Czechoslovakia, get the Czechoslovak gold. And we'll just wait a second, so we get all of our Navy XP. Army department, we shall also prepare a collaboration government. Automatically repeat that and just prepare it. And then let's get the medium tank chassis. We shall also get the fate of Czechoslovakia. Yay! They're definitely gonna accept. We shall also start converting our infantry to something that actually makes sense, which is, there we go, add one artillery piece. We're gonna remove one of these guys, and we shall add a flame tank and a support anti-air. The entire army will now be organized and turn them all into the new infantry division. Then we shall get the YouTube pills with our agency. These guys we can just cancel. We are gonna create another stack of infantry divisions, and then that is it. There we go. Aragon is gone. Aragon. I should stick to making guides. And we shall also get the artillery piece. Air Force Department is also very useful. 20 mils in arty. And then you can also already queue up 33 mil factories on artillery, and also make sure you start importing tungsten from Sweden. We shall now develop West Germany. Just keep on pumping mil factories. And then we shall set up Slovakia as a puppet state. Technically, you can release Czechoslovakia or Böhmen-Mähren. Right now, that does not matter, because this is not gonna modify our MIFO builds, but, you know, just a thing to keep in mind before we start the war. But we shall get over here, get even more land doctrine construction speed. Next, start researching the improved tank engine. Let's also get the aerodynamics facility. Actually, let's build it over here in the Rhineland. And then we shall get coal liquefaction, which is gonna add a couple of refineries to our, a couple of MIFO builds to our, a couple of consumer goods to our MIFO builds. Jesus, but it's fine. There we go. It was that complicated. We're gonna get Auftragstaktik. Gives us also more land doctrine cost reduction, but also 10% initiative, which is very big. I mean, that on everyone. I do know we are out of fuel, but it's perfectly fine. I don't really care. We're gonna take malices on our tanks, but we're still gonna get the XP regardless, even if they perform worse. And let's get logistics. And we will get the final MIFO decision that we're gonna care about, the Ersatzmaterial. We're gonna finish the factories that are building right now, and then we're just gonna start pumping out as much of the rubber, of the juicy rubber that we can. I guess we can put them on, yeah, let's put them on trucks, because we're gonna get rubber in a second anyway. We shall also get extensive conscription. Aeronautical Research Institute, our 24 stack deployed. We're gonna train 10 more and call it a day. Those 24 go over here. We get Bock. We're gonna keep Mannstein on our tanks. We're gonna get Böhme for our marines. There we go. Let's prepare a naval invasion into Newcastle with just 5 guys. And then we're gonna take 5, and these guys are gonna go into Hull. We're gonna produce 1 Infanteriedivision motorized, and we're gonna keep those guys around for now. As for the field marshals and generals for these guys, I don't really care. We're just gonna get Grundstedt, because that guy has been used already. We're gonna train shift-click, aggressive assault, offensive doctrine, regardless, even if they are defending. So we get 12 divisions for the French front, and assign those. We're gonna get 1 stack, get these guys into Königsberg, and there we go. That is pretty much all of our setup for the army. Assign the brilliant Braun. Please subscribe so I can get speech actually, supply utilization. No, we're gonna have less research speed. Oh no, I don't really care. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it does matter, but that's just a minor modifier. Then we shall get the heavy MGs. Dive bombers. Oh, fuck. I actually screwed up here. You should have spammed departments to get all of the traits, because now I guess we're gonna start it regardless. The collab government on the UK. We're gonna be a little bit behind there. Should still be fine. I mean, taking out the UK is easy. We're first gonna create the proper flame tank that we're gonna need for our divisions. And with proper, I mean, I don't really care. The most important thing for this one is just that it has a 10 game H speed. Very important. Turn it into a flame tank. And then we shall get the medium howitzer. It is so beautiful. And also wet armor storage. Technically, you don't really need the wet armor storage. It's just nicer, so you don't have to worry too much about supply and all that. And we're gonna turn you into a 9 kmh tank. You could keep a couple on the old flame tank, but I'm fine with that. We're gonna go down to 15 of those artillery pieces, and yeah, we're just gonna start spamming medium tanks. And then we're gonna turn the motorized into something good, beautiful, and proper. With our medium tanks, we are gonna ensure that they get the basic medium flame tank, because if we were to use the interwar medium flame tank, we would slow them down. So even if they don't get everything, that's perfectly fine. I'd rather they are fast than they have the flame tanks in tow. And there we go. We only need 800 for our current requirement, but that will change in a second, because there we go. We're gonna get that one. We're gonna put you up here. And now we need 2.4 thousand medium tanks. Let's also get rubber processing. Then we're gonna form the department. If you want to do some more, all of the cryptologies are nice. The passive defense is nice. Invisible ink is nice. Naval department we might get, depending on how Sea Lion goes. Then let's do the armament program. Get the Reichswerke going. And then we can get Rommel for better tanks. We're also going to get the 1940 small airframe as well as another oil tank. There we go. Now we can decrypt the British as well as get another spy. Rosenberg office. We shall just start importing a little bit of Romanian oil here. We're gonna select all of the submarines. We're gonna create a new task force. Take all submarines, select the rest. And so now we have the submarines under Dönitz. And we shall get these guys under, I guess Gerda is nice with his naval lineage. Early fighter designs are just, they are something, alright. There we go, put like 5 on those, because we have enough trucks. And we can also go down to 2 Flammpanzer. Then we shall get advanced panzer research. Take all of our economy and push it into the Netherlands for now, I guess. Because I want as much oil as I can get. And then Iran, because Iran is not gonna backstab us. Just gonna stockpile as much as we can, as I said. And then the better engine for our planes is also relatively important. And we are also gonna form Böhmen and Mähren. You could form Czechoslovakia, but with that you get Rosenberg's modifiers a little bit. The Infanterie Division, we're gonna duplicate that one. We're gonna add Marines. 25 foot for the Marines. We should have enough. Yes, there we go. For all of our actual Marines, we're gonna train this army, we're gonna train this army, we're gonna get this tank out. We get our tanks over here to Poland. We're gonna push into Plock. We are just gonna cancel this. We're still a little bit lacking in terms of tanks, but it's fine. Concentrator is kicking in. We are gonna do Danziger War. And even if we are not fully supplied with our tanks, it's gonna be perfectly fine. Like, Poland is not gonna be a speed bump. Just invest everything into fighters for now. Then we shall also get maneuver warfare. And I'm gonna get a couple of these marine techs here. Get the doctrines. There we go. One more that's interesting is the ground support integration. And then we have our entire battlefield support doctrine, or everything that really matters in that doctrine. So we're gonna send Edel and Dietrich. We are just gonna, there we go, don't want auto repeat on that. We have Danziger War, and we shall have war. We're gonna stop training all of these guys. We're gonna declare war on Poland. The second Krieg of the world shall start. We're gonna start forming the Zentrale Planung, and rearmament has always been our goal, which means we will lose Schacht, but we can now start plundering a couple of nations. You could micro, but I'm just gonna, there we go, press the funny little button. Actually, yeah, I am gonna micro, because I can't watch this. This is atrocious. Push from both sides. We're gonna start pushing with those into Gdynia. There we go, take Danzig. And then all of this is encircled. As for always with Poland, you could just auto this, but I like big enemy casualty number and small me casualty number. These guys are just gonna defend West Germany, and then you should just click the pocket away with your infantry. Those tanks, let's just delete orders. Go over here, push into Radom, and then we're gonna push into Slovakia. Get survivability studies. Zentrale Planung, we are gonna get around the maggot line. Alright, I'm gonna micro then. I'm gonna click myself. This is just atrocious to watch. The way the AI just pushes. And again, just push in with your infantry. And then we shall do Weserübung as well. Let's design a proper fighter then. 1 armor plate, and that is it. As for the rest of the focuses, you go down to Totaler Krieg, and then after that you can start preparing autarky. Alright, yeah, they are pretty much dead. Let's just push into... That should probably knock them out. Lithuania? What? I've never seen... What? I've never seen that. I guess I took too long with Poland. Oh god, it's January 1940. I really took my time with Poland here. That was all planned. I wanted Lithuania for free. Yes. Cruise the tanks over there, and then also that. We're gonna get Lutz on the Netherlands border. Just drive around the Lithuanians. They don't have anybody here. There goes Lithuania. The tanks over to the Dutch. And now, most importantly, you can... Ooh, right, Lithuania also joined. We can also get Lithuanian gold. I am mostly interested in the Polish gold, because right now, economy of conquest is at 84%. We shall seize the Polish gold reserves, the Lithuanian gold reserves, and then we can also create the general government and expand it, and then we can just give him all of Poland. Declare war on Denmark, Iceland, and Norway. That way, Iceland will join the allies, so you can now also get Iceland for free. Otherwise, they would just peace out. Also diversify elite forces, I guess. Get the infantry expert, and get Funk. The Dutch, we can just auto. There goes the Dutch. Very important, keep only one general on Belgium, and get these guys, the tanks over here as well. We can get the Dutch, the Reichskommissariat Niederlande, but first we have to seize the gold. This can also go into the negative, so feel free to just seize gold whenever. And declare war on Belgium. Tripartite Pact, might as well join. Oh god, what? That was a bit too quick for my liking. Like, that was a blitzkrieg, you know? And there we go. They shall just keep on pushing into... We've been embargoed by Sweden. That's crazy. We shall ask for all of this. I don't want you to get my hard-earned stolen land. The Belgians had 20 gold. That's crazy. Wait, what? Triumphant France... We shall establish Vichy France. There we... Okay. Then we shall seize the French gold. Now, technically, you don't need to form Vichy, but Vichy is nice because then you get less economy of conquest modifiers and all that. And we're at minus 30% consumer goods right now. We're gonna start this invasion. Dönitz gets all of the modifiers. We're gonna send you to here. We're gonna send you to here. And, oh god, that's already enough. I thought I had to, you know, put up some planes or something. If the invasion against the UK does not work, even though, you know, like, for me, that worked perfectly, you should get more radars. Ideally, you can also put them here in the Dutch. You can put some fighters over here and some naval bombers, as well as some naval departments, and then everything should be fine. And now, with the invasion of the UK, it can be a little bit tricky, but honestly, it should be fine. I'm gonna go down to 4 speed. We're attacking here. We're attacking in Hull and Newcastle. I'm gonna use cheat attack just because it makes this so much easier. There we go. We've landed in Newcastle and in Hull. Very important. With this one, we're gonna push up here into the airbase. We're gonna keep one guy here. We're gonna keep one guy here. With these, we're gonna push over here. We're gonna keep one guy here. One guy goes up to this airbase. This airbase is incredibly important. We're gonna dump 24 divisions here. We're gonna dump 24 divisions here. Our main goal is just to cut the British Isles up to separate Sweden and England. And also, you know, like, this chaos is also very nice. There we go. And now, this should be piss easy. We have pretty much won the war against the British. I'm just gonna get some fighters over here to ensure we hold on. And the British AIs should start freaking out. There we go. Well, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna hold. And then we can get Totaler Krieg. Yay, finally. Actually, the British AI does not even freak out that much, but it's very important we hold those two air bases because we're gonna start tearing into the Royal Air Force. The way that the British AI works for the invasion, or when you do a Sea Lion, they will constantly keep on ramming into you, even if they don't have manpower anymore. I'm gonna do a little bit of pushing here because the British are a little bit defensive, honestly. They haven't rammed into me at all. But even if they do, you know, like, these divisions are supplied. We have our navy set up here. This guy to area defense, the ports. Air detection is just as. I guess we can build an air radar base up here. And we might as well call Italy in. He's gonna get a bit of war score, but he's also gonna help with occupying a little bit of the British AI. In all of my sea lions in this patch thus far, I always took Scotland with ease. It should be fairly easy since the British sent very few troops to defend Scotland, especially if you've already separated Scotland and England. Logistics wizard, yes! That's gonna help insanely much. Honestly, I've done a couple of sea lions, and this is definitely my sloppiest one, but I guess that's just when the cameras are rolling. Biggest problem right now is just the British are not grinding up on me. But I am so peggable. British Air Force should be gone. Only 500 planes left, that's fine. Because now we are actually gonna start using our own CAS. Two can play at that game, Mr. Churchill. The reason why it took this long to start pushing was because I was hungry. and I was playing on a new controller, and my little brother was playing. But if I wanted to speed this up, I would have sent another naval invasion into Wales, or potentially also southern England to open another front, depending on where the British Navy was. And if paratroopers were not so busted, I also could have dropped them on some ports in major cities, but I just don't like using paratroopers because it's just boring. That and another collab government could have ended the campaign months ago. I'm just gonna run into London. That should be fine. They shouldn't be encircled. There we go. And we have 5,000 points, which I will immediately use for the UK and for Free France, and the Dutch are very important, and all of those other miners around here, because I do love miners. It's a piece of Poland. Come on, you have no business here, Italy. And that is it. Now we can also get the British gold, which will help us a little bit, just for a while. We could create some more Reichskommissariate, but I honestly don't care. Actually, I'm gonna put everything on local police, and on the British we can put on civ oversight. Harsh quarters is just nice for the war. I did forget to put everyone on forced labor here. With that, you should have enough oil to do the autarky focus. Afterwards, you can go back to local police. If you didn't get enough war score, you can also declare war on Romania or the Middle East, build some infrastructure in Curaçao, or get higher excavation tech to get up to the required oil. Every single one of our spies to Vladivostok. That's certainly not suspicious. 6 Germans suddenly arriving in Vladivostok after the Allies capitulated. I mean, I guess it does make sense, you know. They're fleeing the government and all that. A bit late, but, you know, it's believable. I guess we're just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Justify on the Soviet Union. There's not much to the Soviet Union at this point, so we'll skip a bit of the waiting period. If you need help, I have the unedited word in the description, but to keep it quick, we have far too many factories and manpower, so just get your defensive field marshal on the front, build airports and radar in Poland and Lithuania, and get your fighters up. There we go. Let's prepare the collaboration government against the Soviets, and they have already found a couple of our Germans. We're gonna put you on quiet intel. Okay, the Soviets are just pouring all the planes up here for some reason. I guess we shall match them. Is that all? Okay, that is the entire Soviet Air Force. Once this is gone, we won't have to worry about anything anymore. Since the Soviets are pretty much out of manpower already, or out of planes, I guess we can also just put up 2,000 CAS everywhere. And sure, you can push into the Soviet Union, do some blitzkrieging, Barbarossing, encircling and all that, but what the fuck is the point? So long as the Soviets grind themselves down, I am just gonna comply. There we go, might as well get helicopters going. Alright, let's also start producing a couple more of our Panzers. There we go. 8 is fine. Just missing a light. Oh, that's the... Right. I don't care about that division. I want the Infanterie Division. There we go. That's more like it. Alright, Manstein. Let's free the Baltics. Let's also give this guy a couple more buffs, I guess. Soviets are out of manpower and pretty much out of planes now. 1.5 million Soviets. With the amount of industry you have, you can just battle plan the Soviets, but I still think it's just good practice to do some smaller encirclements here, you know. Let's, for example, push into Smolensk, make sure we have the supply hub. So let's just push into Minsk. And I guess in the meantime, let us get the nuclear research facility. There we go. Just one. We have to micro this. The AI is not gonna focus enough on the supply hub, and with the lack of supply, we do need to focus. Attack from 2 sides, and then Smolensk should fall. We have supply hub. Supply hub is linked, and then we are just gonna get an offensive, something like over here into Novgorod. Yes. And you know what? Let's just quickly close the pocket here. Could make it a little bit larger, but this is fine. There we go. I'll let... What? No! That was the Japanese-American war! Why did you join against the Soviet Union? Oh, come on. I wanted to have Barbarossa to myself. And you know what? Let's just push into Moscow. This is not even a strategic push. I'm just gonna go full balls to the walls. If you're struggling with Barbarossa, just press F4 to see supply hubs and focus your offensives to capture these. If you can't manage to get there, then just build supply hubs yourself. But with collab governments, you shouldn't have to push too deep into the Soviet Union where you actually need to build supply hubs yourself. And sure, let's do the campaign instructions against the Soviet... I guess we will not do a blitzkrieg decision against the Soviet Union. And now that you know how to play Germany, why don't you watch my Japan guide where we beat China within a year?